Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews, and today we're bringing you My Hero Academia episode 6 anime review. But before we get into that, there is a bit of a service announcement, so to speak. Thank you for all those that are subscribing and watching my videos. Thank you very much for doing that. Thank you for the continued support. To give you a bit of an update, I have a bit of a busy schedule generally with work life, home life, gym life when I can. And sometimes it's not always possible for me to do these reviews. There are some manga that I watch and I will review religiously and I will do regardless. Some I just struggle to do, and I'll watch but I just don't ever get a chance to review. One of those is the One Piece anime and the Dragon Ball Super anime. So I'll read the manga, I'll keep up to date with what's going on, I'll watch all the reviews. I'll get a chance to always do the reviews because it does take a lot of time. And even though I'm doing the most simplest of editing, it does take a lot of my time based on the limited work schedule I've got. So to give you an update of what I will be doing for the time being, I'm just dropping them for the time being. Once other things in life that I'm doing, which I can't really talk about right now because it hasn't really finalized, get sorted out, you are going to see a video on this to explain everything later. But once that is sorted out, I can start picking things back up. I'll have my own little area. We can kind of discuss in that. So for now, to give you a bit of an idea of my schedule, depending on the release, generally Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or whenever it might come out, depending on its release, will be One Piece and Bleach. If Bleach finishes, comes out sooner, I'll pick you up, we'll do what we need to do with it. Fridays tends to be kind of a let day, Friday or Saturday, depending on my work schedule. I generally tend to do, where possible, if they come out early enough, World Trigger and My Hero Academia on Friday or the Saturday. Then you have Sundays or Mondays, depending on what comes out. You'll have the Sunday, which is going to be My Hero Academia anime. Monday is going to be a Fairy Tail and Seven Deadly Sins. So it gives you an idea of the weekly stuff that I do. Other things that I am looking to kind of keep an eye on, read, and potentially start reviewing again. I have been reviewing an no Shubatai, Fire Brigade of Flames. It's kind of in a weird position right now because it's kind of not really got scanlators, and for the chapters that have been scanned, I've reviewed up to chapter 20, but the chapters that have been scanned, they've gone 21, 22, 23, 24. They missed 25 and 26 for some reason, and 27, 28, 29. So there's a gap and I don't know what's happened there. So once that's cleared up, I will do a kind of a up-to-date review on that. I do review Platinum End. I will do the most recent chapter of chapter 7 for Platinum End this week coming up. And I do Dragon Ball Super when it comes out. I believe I've got some reviews to do on that. Things that I will be looking to really implement, things that are putting back in place on top of what I have been doing with the mangas. And the anime, sorry. Food Wars. I'm currently on chapter 70. I need to watch the anime to kind of see how that is differently. So that'll be my introduction into that. And I'll do some arc reviews till I'm up to date. Haikyuu I've not read at all or watched the anime at all. But being that I'm a very, very sports oriented dude myself and lover of sports manga, I'll definitely get into that. Attack on Titan, having watched all of the anime a few times and wanting to get into the monthly series, I will need to do that at some point. And now that I've found a scanlator for Smoker's Parade, at some point I will do that. I will still read Naruto, I will still read Magi, I will still read God of High School, all brilliant chapters, especially God of High School. If you haven't read it before, it's a manhwa, go check it out, absolutely brilliant. One Punch Man as well. All these little different things I want to do, but it's a case of being efficient. It's a case of having the right environment. At the moment I'm just in my family house, family room. I guess I will be looking to improve that coming up, but this run and this update has gone on for long enough. Let's get into the review. So the episode in itself covers more or less all of chapter 7, bar the beginning part because that was shown in the last episode, up to the end of episode 8 and a little bit of episode 9. So they're roughly doing about 2 chapters an episode, which is pretty good because of where they want to get to. Because they've only got 13 episodes, but already halfway through that, more or less. and they have to have a decent pace to kind of get to the good stuff, I guess. So this fight is interesting in itself, but before getting into that, let's kind of look at chapter to chapter how this has come about. So the whole thing with the quirk test does last a little bit longer, I guess, in the manga, if I remember correctly, but they've kind of summarized that part, and they've kind of just blodged it in at the beginning of the video. I did like the part of the episode which was to do with Deku, for all intents and purposes, is a geek, right? But whenever he goes shy at Anuraka or Zero Gravity Girl, it's cute, because he's like, she calls him Deku because Bakugan call him Deku, and he's like, he uses that to tease me. And she's like, oh, well, I thought Deku sounds like, give it your best and you can do it. And she's like, okay, my name's Deku. And he's like, I'm sure that was an insult. That relationship is really cool. And it's good to see that he's making friends. We always see, as always, it's never different with Bakugou. Bakugou's still a very explosive dude, and that really shows in his quirk. I think he might have that IED kind of disorder. The explosive impulsive disorder, which basically means you've got hell, like you could literally just flip like that. I think that's more what he's about, rather than him being a douche. I think he's just generally like that. I think he's quite aggressive as a person, and he's got that impulsive disorder inside him, which makes him quite aggressive. So he is like obviously not happy about the fact that his quirk has been shown, because he thinks that Deku's been hiding it since 4 years old, pretending to be weak. Because I guess the idea, if you look into Bakugou's character, is about, without taking away the layers of his, his rashness, his impulsiveness and stuff like that, he really wants to be appreciated for being strong. He really wants to be number one, and he really believes he can do it. So the idea of Deku having an ability, or Izuku or Midoriya having an ability, part of it was the fact that he's got an ability, but by extension it was the fact that he thought that he'd been conned. So he was more pissed off that he thought he was dumb enough to get conned than the fact that Izuku's got basically a quirk, because he's got this long history, growing up with him, his friend and stuff like that. Quote unquote friends, really. Is he really friends? I don't know. But that's what pisses him off more, because that's basically his lackey. He doesn't want to be outdone by his lackey, and that's pretty much where a lot of his rage comes from. On top of, I believe he's got that explosive or whatever it is, the IED. I can't remember the exact terminology and the science behind it, but it's something like that where you rage out for no reason. That's that. So we get to find out that Aizawa Sensei was basically kidding the whole time. No one's gonna get thrown out, and basically All Might kind of questions him about this. And it's funny how their relationship works, because he's like, well, you shouldn't be favouring some students, that's not right as a teacher. And he was like, well, you shouldn't be lying. And it was kind of like, yes, he was lying, but that was more of a lie to cover up a lie. So the idea was, realistically, if someone he saw did not have any potential, he would get rid of him, but not to be harsh, but to be honest with the student. Because as a pro hero, he's seen all the nitty gritty stuff, he's seen how bad it can get, he's taken it from the point of view of safety of the person. Because the last thing you want to be doing is going out in the field and get demolished by someone, and you're not really having what it took. For example, if you look at a lot of these, I think the best example I can give you is the X Factor. We have an X Factor in the UK. I think you've got it in the US and everything else, but the X Factor in the UK, you see loads of people that get supported, and they go on there and they make a fool of themselves. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're talented and you're confident and you've practiced and you've got what it takes, you go do that, right? But you get some people, and the natural reaction to them is, really? What were you thinking? And that's because you get people that blow hot air up their backsides, that tell them they're amazing, and they're not real with them, and they get hurt, or they get upset, or they get embarrassed, or they make fools of themselves. And I guess it's that concept to a certain degree, and that's what his thought was. He thought that, look, Izuku Midoriya has more than zero of a chance. He's fine. let him go. And that's why he made that lie to cover up that supposed lie, basically. So we also find out about recovery girl's quirk. It's all to do with cell activation. So she basically activates your cells to help you recover. I'm sure that's from another manga and anime. I can't put my finger on it right now, can't think about it, but yeah, that is that. Also, this ties out the body, and the idea is the stamina. So I'm guessing that if a person had crazy amounts of stamina and energy, they could do that unlimited. Just keep going. But the point is also made that if he continues to damage himself, he could eventually just die. He's talking about Izuku now. Anyway, the relationship between the three students, Ida, Uraraka, and Izuku is always good to see. Then we get to see the bit of the story about All Might being a teacher, the battle test, all the equipment, all people in their own gear, and we find out about how that links up. That's cool. Izuku obviously wanted to do the noble thing, and wear what his mum made him because she was so proud, and she wanted to apologise, and she wanted to really support her son for her dreams. Because bearing in mind earlier on, she said, "Look, give up." Which he said that one thing he wanted to hear from his mother was the fact that she believed in him. So I guess that was good because they kind of brought that back in, and he has a loyal follower now who's always going to worry. But it's cool that she kind of made amends for that. She felt guilty about those words. Then we get to see him wear it, and it's basically a jumpsuit, and he's designed some of the parts basically around All Might, which even All Might subconsciously thinks way too obvious. He was like giggling about it a little bit. And then the battle test kind of starts. So essentially the battle test is about you could say villains and heroes, and the villains are squad of 2, the heroes are squad of 2. The villains have got some type of nuke, and they've got to capture each other basically. It turns out that they're going to groups, and the villain on this occasion was going to be Ida and Bakugao against Uraraka and Izuku Midoriya. He's always shy, so cute. But anyway, they get into it, and before anything will really kick off, Bakugao corners them. He gets straight in the face while they're in the match, and because Izuku is such a genius of hard work and attention to detail, that basically he knows what his kind of abilities are in terms of what he does and his mannerisms and his reflexes to a certain degree. I'm just trying to think of his habits. It's probably a better word to use. His habits, and uses that against him. Judo throws him, puts him down, and he's just gonna go, "I'll be the Deku that means I could do it all, and I could do it." And I'm like, "Yeah, you go," but you're probably gonna hear your ass kicked in a bit. So for those who just watch the anime that don't really read the manga, you're in for a treat. There's a lot of good episodes coming up, so please continue watching it to the end of the season. Don't just drop it now. It only gets better. The hype train has left the station, so to speak, and it gets really quick. For those that are manga viewers, you probably all know all about this, but really the idea about the series moving forward for me is, how Deku is at the end in his classroom, he's last in his classroom. It's that journey to become number 1. That's the way I see it. So he's having to learn the ability, learning about how to be a hero, not hurt himself, save his friends, making the right decisions, doing everything he can in his power to become number 1. But at the same time, there's some characters lurking around that we hear from, even the perverted little kid with the afro. You'll hear about all his abilities later. There are quite a few interesting characters in there, but we'll see more of them as we come along. But for now, that is the review. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up if any of this part you've enjoyed, and a thumbs down if you really don't. But don't just thumbs down me if you don't want to say anything. Let me know how I can improve. I can only improve with your feedback, so please give me some. But if you haven't already, subscribe. I normally leave a thumbnail up here, but I'm not really going to do that. Just subscribe when you get a chance. I'll leave in the description section below. And until then, take it easy. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy the weather.